Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. We're just going to be taking a quick look at the price action recently in Bitcoin. Let's get straight into it. We kind of have this bounce off the 200-day moving average. One thing I'm noticing is unless we kind of got this divergence on the volume and also a divergence starting to print out on the RSI, so unless we get a massive amount of buyers coming in to take us over 45k and then blast through, maybe this trend line is going to have some significance. It's a bit of a longer term one. I can see maybe we will just touch slightly above it. If we do get a crazy volume coming in, then maybe we will smash through it, but I think it's more likely we kind of just from here head downwards and maybe sort of trade in this range, or at least come down to meet these moving averages here and start to sort of build a new floor perhaps. But probably we're going to be in this range for a little bit longer. Taking a look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, we have, looks like this trend line has now flipped into resistance. We still need some more time to kind of evaluate this, but it looks like we have kind of stalled out on this. On the altcoin season indicator, we've kind of just dipped into Bitcoin and coming out. I've been talking about how I think we're just going to have kind of like a dip like we had in April 2018. Going to have one of these kind of moves where we go back up towards altcoin season and then we dip into a kind of heavier Bitcoin season. The fear and greed index today is towards greed, which seems a little bit early for me. Taking a look at the altcoins then, we have DeFi specifically. We kind of broken out of this channel, and I still think we've got some room to go on the RSI, so hopefully if we can break this like 10k level, then that's going to be looking quite bullish for DeFi. Ethereum versus BTC, we had this breakout of this previous bearish trend, but we haven't really broken out with much volume and doesn't look like it's very strong, so probably we're going to see a little bit sideways. I think with the latest news with regulation, it's kind of put a dampener on things really, for Ethereum at least. Taking a look at Matic, yeah, it looks like we're ready to run actually. We've held this moving average here on the 14-day, and we had the crossover here as well, so it's looking strong. The 200-day moving average has come up quite significantly, so I am tempted to start loaning more on AAVE and trying to compound my stack. This does seem like a bit of an option available at the moment. If you are going to do this, then make sure you don't take too much risk. Probably LTV of about 25 to 30% I think is a reasonable amount. Taking a look at the Poly tokens, it's been a very good day. Looks like we're having a little bit of a recovery as well, so stuff to do with Matic is looking pretty rosy at the moment, especially Adamant, which kind of represents the whole ecosystem. It's looking pretty good, almost 24 today. So looking at the 10-minute chart, we've had this nice run from about $18-19 up to 25, and hopefully this will continue. So let's take a look at the latest post by Polycat Finance on a decentralized exchange. they're saying that they're being too ambitious. The launch should be on August 2nd, and now they are talking about Sunday. When is this article from? 2 days ago. We'd rather have people complaining about a delayed launch and people suffering from an unavoidable exploit after a rushed one. So I think the main problem is they're trying to get it audited, and sometimes it can take time, right? I like that, that's cool. So we've got a new fresh UI over here. To be honest, it's not really that exciting for me. Of course, like a UI is important. Okay, so they are not gonna do any charting until they implement a proper subgraph API along with an info page for AMM. So that's already behind QuickSwap, right? I mean, who's using QuickSwap charts anymore? I don't know. Is anyone using QuickSwap charts anymore? To think that was the original what we had on Polygon is crazy, really, for quite a long time. So here we can see the swap function. Yes, fairly plain straightforward. We've had the intention to launch our own DEX pretty much since launch, so we had already prepared a front end for it. Upgrading the DEX UI is on our to-do list, but it doesn't have priority. We're focused on functionality. Functionality is good, but having the intention to launch your own DEX as soon as you launch the farm, is that? We've grown fond of our customized homemade vaults page and have decided to keep updating it as we go instead of replacing it altogether. We think it serves a purpose for us while being concise and easy to use. Of course it isn't perfect, so expect to see change further down the road. We're working on current ways to expand our vaults and the way they work. We'll reveal more details about this in the future. Yeah, it's looking fresh, it's looking pretty good. I like this UI as well. We've got some stats on some kind of useful stats here. It's looking quite interesting. So this is what this part you might be wondering about. Of course, since Fish, our governance token, so apparently it's a governance token now, has a supply cap of 3 million that we've already reached. We launched a new token, Poor, to reward with no supply cap. So this is where I'm starting to feel a bit skeptical, you know, because what's the point in this limited supply fish just for a governance token, and then they just release a token which is not deflationary. A new reward token implies new farms, and new farms imply a new interface. Of course, you need some kind of minting, otherwise they can't do farms, right? So, of course, one of the main new features is the vesting of rewards. Seems like this is the future for farms now. This kind of vesting structure, I think, is going to be applied to all farms in the future. There's a bit of a risk opportunity cost reward risk though for users. After being allocated poor reward from farms, you will have to harvest them. When you harvest the rewards, it activates a new 30-day vesting period. Similar to what we've experienced on Adamant, but just 1 month. Harvested rewards are locked at the start of the vest and start invested linearly over 30 days. The pool will be dripped and unlocked every block. This linear vesting mechanism represents a more solid incentive system by lessening the sell pressure of poor. But I'm struggling a bit with this, because if they got the vesting system and then another DEX doesn't have the vesting system, and then say you're in a liquidity pool of just some completely different tokens. Let's just say you're in like Ethereum, Bitcoin, right? So what's the incentive to come on here and do the vesting, unless you got crazy APY and the tokens going up in value, right? So what's the minting? What's the emission gonna be? Navigating to the vesting tab, you can view how much of your pool rewards have been claimed, locked and unlocked since the beginning of vesting period. You can also view your current and past vesting periods. So they will have the tanks as well, where you can stake fish or pour, and they'll be pushing for as many partnerships as possible after we launch the DEX in the new UI. I don't want to seem like I'm kind of crapping on them, but there's not really been much good projects to... There's not really been that many interesting projects. I mean, we'll see. Gembytes, maybe NFT platform. I don't know what they could do. I don't know which projects they could work with. Probably like some gaming projects would be good. Some smaller gaming projects that need some support and help. I mean, I guess you could say that about the NFT exchange and the Gembytes, but the big players, the big monopolized, you know, like OpenSea, how can you compete with once they already got such a big market share? But games is different, you know. If you've got a small game, people like that game, it's a niche. I think that's where they could expand. So when Obelisk and Paladin are thoroughly auditing our new farm in DEX, I don't know why it's not like Certic. They got a lot of users, you know. Why can't we have Certic on here? Obelisk and Paladin, like who? Once we've first completed the audio, we'll be allowing users to pre-stake for 3 days, subject to change before rewards start. That's good. An approximate ETAs by the end of this week, Sunday or before, so it's looking like in the next 24 hours possibly. We'll announce the exact day and time as soon as we have it. So the pluses, let's talk about this. So they have a lot of users, which is a big plus. Their development has been steady but solid. They haven't made any mistakes. There hasn't been any big errors. They've been running a long time, so they are trustworthy. But now they're trying to compete with other DEXs, and I just can't see it. The biggest thing the biggest thing is the amount of users and the amount of time it's been running. But I don't think they've found the invention. I don't think they've got the unique selling point which can make them better or a good alternative to something like QuickSwap. I don't think they can generate the partnerships QuickSwap is coming out with. It's like every other day. And QuickSwap getting involved with a lot of the gaming things going on Polygon, which I think is going to be huge on Polygon because of the transaction fees. It's not going to be better. It's not going to challenge like Adamant for a aggregator. So I'm struggling actually. So I'm thinking I don't. We'll see how this goes. I think the dev team put a lot of hard work into it. So there's a lot of determination there. There's a lot of user base which support it, but I'm feeling really skeptical, to be honest. So I may look to divest once we get a run up in price, with the price of Matic looking better. I'm just being honest, guys. I really don't want to crap on this, but I'm not seeing it. Anyway, I have some bag. I have a small bag of fish and I have a small bag of pour now. Alright guys, that's just going to be it for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. It's a bit downbeat. Hope you're having a great weekend. I'll be back tomorrow for another video. So if you've got anything you think I've missed, or you think there's some more reasons why you're bullish on the new Polycat DEX, then be sure to leave some comments in the description below and we can discuss them there, or come join the Telegram group, and I'll see you guys next time.